Remember, children, it's Wingardium Leviosa. Swish and flick.
Ah, Wingardium Leviosa.
Stop it, Ron. Stop.
Oh, Wingardium Leviosa.
Stop.
Ronald Weasley. It's Leviosa.
Ah, Leviosa. Stop.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Hello, you wonderful people out there. Now, welcome back to my main channel. So, basically, what has happened today is, well, since I, again, didn't have another thing to make a video on, and plus I'm sorry for not recording videos lately, I've been trying to do as much as I can, but there was problems with my computer, with my Wi-Fi, and I had to fix all that, whatever. But anyway, so today I'm going to be talking about one of the little creepier things that has happened with my life now, because I really don't do that much, and I'm pretty sure that many of you do want to hear that. I mean, why else did you subscribe to this channel? I mean, besides the fact that I talk about my life and rant about everything. Whatever, so this is the time I almost got kidnapped, raped, and murdered. I think. But this is just sort of like a creepy little Uber experience I had. Now, if you guys do not know what Uber is, well, you could consider yourselves kind of lucky. But it's basically like a really, really, really cheap, sometimes free taxi. That's all it is. You just sit, they get you to the place you want, you could tip them, you could not pay them anything at all, but Uber has been known to have rape incidents and murder incidents. As a matter of fact, there's a couple of recent stories that has happened where people have been raped by, well, not Uber the company, because the company obviously doesn't know what's going on, but there were incidents like that. But anyways, the time is I'm over there just in the park, right? Just walking around with my friends, just doing whatever we can, right? And they had a ride, and their houses were like really close, and I'm like miles away from home, and that's when I just pull out my Uber app. And this has all happened back when I was in 8th grade. And so I just pull out my Uber app because I had unlimited data, whatever. It was one of those old ZTE phones, whatever. And so I just pull out the Uber app, and I just get myself an Uber. I order myself an Uber, right? But then, as I'm just waiting, my phone starts ringing, right? And it's some number that I do not know. It just said private number or unknown number or something like that. And I pick up, and I'm like, hello? And from another side, you hear like a really, really like raspy voice. And he's all like, hello. And I'm like, yeah, hi. And he's like, and the guy's like, this is your Uber. Where are you? And I'm like, dude, aren't you supposed to know where I am since, I mean, because like if you guys do not know, in Uber, it basically, you give them your address there, you give them your destination there, you just do all that sort of stuff. And so this guy calls me and he's like, okay, and at that moment I'm like, okay, why are you calling? If you should know where what is. And he's like, oh, I'm just making sure. And at that moment, simply because I was like kind of really gullible back then, I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I give him the address I'm at right now currently, and the address that I need to get to, which is my house. Or apartment, whatever. Don't judge me. And so I'm just standing there and waiting, and then the guy calls me back. Well, I forgot to tell you. I hung up, and then about 10 minutes later, he calls me back, and he's like, what's your name? And at that moment, I'm like, dude, shouldn't you know my name? It's right on my profile on Uber. And then, of course, afterwards, the dude is like, oh, yeah, I know. I just wanted to know, make sure that that's your name. And at that moment, I'm like, okay, this guy's acting pretty strange. Uber usually doesn't do this. This is already getting straight up way out of hand. So, I'm just, like, I just brush it off because clearly nothing bad can happen with Uber, am I right? And at that moment, I've decided to cancel this person and order another Uber, like, a bit less creepy. And I reported this guy for, like, being too creepy to the site because, like, to the Uber site. And then at that moment, he calls me back, And he starts cussing me out. He's like, hey, you piece of... How dare you cancel me? How dare you report me? And he's like yelling at me through the phone as if I'm like his ex-girlfriend or something. And then, of course, I'm like, dude, I canceled you. Can you please stop calling? I ordered myself another person. Now, this guy came about 5 minutes. The second person I ordered. My god, it sounds so gay. Yeah, the second guy I ordered, he came in like 5 minutes. Oh my god. Don't you guys hate it the moment you start laughing at your own jokes? Anyways, I'm over there just... this guy comes in, and then I tell him the whole story just because, like, he's like, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm fine, because I really don't like talking to people that much. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Just, he tries to do small talk and whatever. And then he's like, starts asking me a bunch of questions. I kind of forgot, but I remember the moment he asked me something, and I was like, and I tell him this whole story, what happened with this guy. And then this guy is like, okay, did you give me your address? And I'm like, yes, I gave him my address. How else was I supposed to, well, get to my place? And he's like, oh, this guy knows where you live. And we're just sitting there. He's driving, and then immediately the guy calls me, the other dude, the quote-unquote rapist, and I pick up, and I'm like, dude, could you please leave me alone? I'm already going home. And he's like, you're not going anywhere! And then he starts screaming, where are you? Where are you? Get into my car! I'm gonna drive you home! And I'm like, dude, calm down. And then this guy, this Uber driver, he takes my phone from my hand, and he starts yelling at this guy and cussing him out and everything. And then, of course, we see some headlights behind us, but I didn't really care because obviously we're not the only ones in the road. But then, of course, this guy was like tailgating us. Like, I'm like searching behind, and I obviously seen something suspicious. And I'm like, hey, dude, could you like make 4 right turns? Because in case you don't know, the easiest way to check if someone's stalking you is to make 4 right turns. And if you see the exact same car behind you, basically means they're stalking you and whatnot. And I've been knowing this for like a pretty long time, so another little stalker hack for you guys. So, we did the 4 right turns, and the guy's still following really close behind. He was like right on our ass. And so, I'm like, okay, and this guy's still, this guy already hung up, right? And then, of course, the driver that I was with, I'm like, I told him, okay, dude, he's right behind us. Could you please drive faster? And, of course, this guy just drives, and he, like, goes wherever. And then he drops me off by a gas station, because there's, like, a gas station that's, like, half a mile away from my house. And this guy, basically took everything for free because of how everything was. And so, by the way, this guy looked really creepy. Like, I don't mean to sound racist, but he was, like, black and he had, like, wrinkles and, like, his eyes were, like, saggy. He looked kind of creepy himself, but he was really nice. He dropped me off half a mile away from my house, and then he tells me how I could get home. Not that I already knew, but I just didn't want to, like, I just let him do what he did. And so after he tells him to get home, he continues driving, and this other Uber driver, like, we lost this guy for a second, and he's like, okay, this and this, you just need to go here, make a right turn, just head on your home. And then he gets back into his car, and he starts driving away. And then, about a minute later, the creepy Uber driver just comes up behind him, the rapist guy, and he starts tailing the other guy. But then, I forgot what happened, but then once I just get home, I walk home and everything, and I have the rest of the day to myself. Now, afterwards, this guy, the creepy Uber driver, was actually caught because he tried to pick someone else up, but this person ended up escaping, and this guy was a rapist and a murderer. And what ended up happening is, well, he has been sentenced to prison for I forgot how long, and whatever. And there was, like, on the news, and it explained basically what he did. Like, he was basically a person who for a few years has been he's been working for Uber for quite a time, but he's also been raping and killing the people, and he's been hiding it. But this person apparently ended up escaping whatever this guy was trying to do or anything. And this has happened a few weeks after this whole Uber incident, right? And so after I figured that out, well, I'm like, well, nice. That just makes me want to trust Uber more. Anyways, long story short, I almost got raped and murdered. And, don't trust Uber. I'm just kidding. Clearly, after listening to all this, you want to trust Uber way much more than you do now, am I right? Anyways, from now on, I don't use Uber anymore at all, like zero. If I need to get somewhere, I just either one, walk or drive. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed listening to this story and watching this video. I know I haven't made a video for a long time, so my quote-unquote YouTube skills are a bit rusty. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content and want more stories and rants like this one. I kind of been going off topic most of the times, but whatever. It's still an interesting video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And I hope to see you all in another video. Peace out. Don't forget to check out my gaming channel.